Hey YouTube, Jamstar here. So I'm with the Sensorium. Today's episode I'm most likely going to be focusing on the popularity list. So as there's no sort of tier list in Dissidia, as there's not enough data, there's not enough tournament results, they use a popularity list to kind of go off. I mean, some of them are kind of justifiable in terms of where characters are placed, where some I wouldn't be able to explain. But yeah, I'm going to try and explain some of them to the best of my ability, so let's go. Alright, so the bottom of the list is pretty much Warrior of Light, Onion Knight, Ultimisia, Kuja, Ramza, Emperor, Golbez, and X-Death. So with X-Death and Golbez, I can kind of knock together. When this game kind of scales off movement, damage, utility. That's what most players look at. So when you have a character who has too much damage or too much utility, it's not really that sort of like great. So Golbez can kind of justifies that, and XF kind of justifies that as well. XF doesn't really have much mobility. His kit's just too dynamic. You know, a lot of the characters that are higher up and popular are kind of just straightforward to pick up and play. They don't really have any hard mechanics or any sort of hard commitments. Golbez is another one as well. He doesn't really have the best movement. He's not really that great when he gets shut out of Shadow Dragon. So obviously, you know, when you hit a HP attack that has over 1,000 bravery, Golbez loses his Shadow Dragon. So, you know, his attacks just don't become amplified. Alongside that, with the Noctis patch that came out, he got hit with the Nerf Hammer pretty bad. A lot of his moves don't have a big hitboxes, so they're not hard hitting AoE blasts. And I think Shadow Dragon got tuned a little bit, but yeah, that's pretty much it. So being one of the top 10 just dropped right to 27 is pretty surprising. Except since he's come out, it's kind of hard to find footage of X-Death. I mean, Jag Hansmer, I'm sorry if I can't pronounce his name properly. He actually had trouble trying to find high level X-Death players because he's that uncommon. So yeah, that kind of clarifies up those two. Emperor on the other hand, Emperor's kit, I'd say like he's not the easiest character to pick up and play compared to most marksmen. He's really dynamic. A lot of his kit focuses on traps, Oki, wake up, like all that sort of fighting game terminology, and he doesn't really have the strongest neutral compared to like higher level marksman players or characters, sorry, like Ace or Terra, who are, I think they're most likely at top 10. It wouldn't surprise me either. Rams I can kind of explain as well. So if anyone watched the Dissidia Invitational, I think a few days back or a week or so, so Bilam Mughals I think was running Ramza, Vaughn, and Yashtola, and they were going to go up against Team Excalibur, which had a Cloud, an Ace, and a Warrior of Light, and that comp just did not hold properly because the way that the comp's built is like when you have Rams on your team, you want to protect him as much as you can, so he can shout, he can steal and buff your team. If you shut him out of those options, you know you have a useless character who can't really do much or be as effective. On top of that as well, like I'd say you need some sort of peeling character like Warrior of Light. He has really decent peeling tools, or Furion who can kind of just take away aggro. With Yashtola having as a marksman, it was just like, okay, she's a defensive marksman, but she can defend herself. But she's not one of those sort of ones where it's like, okay, if I see someone misplace, I can easily pick them off. Like she has to kind of overcommit and come out of her comfort zone just to get picks. Kuja, I'm really surprised about. Like, just no reason. Probably just dropped off the chain somehow. Ultimisia, she's another one. When Golbez came out, she got hit with the Nerf Hammer. Her and Cloud of Darkness, they got hit with the Nerf Hammer pretty bad, and she just fell off, I guess, because she shot up in popularity and she stayed popular for a while. Even during the COD patch, when COD came out, she was still popular, and then now it's like, okay, she's with the bottom with like Golbez and Xdef and Ramsey. It's like, okay, Onion Knight I can kind of understand as well with Onion Knight. When you make a character like Xdef, when you make him too dynamic, he doesn't really have full control over his jobs either. So it's like, okay, I have an EX that can swap jobs, but you can't swap to the job that you want. On top of that as well, like you can change jobs by landing a certain amount of hits, which can be really inconsistent and inconvenient at times. So that kind of puts a lot of players off picking up Onion Knight. Warrior Light, I don't know about Warrior. It's kind of like Kudra. It's like, okay, they're there. You just probably might look into that a bit more. So we're going to go into the second third. So this covers 20 to 11. So Shantoto, she was rock bottom. Like, I'll be honest with you, she was rock bottom. No one played her, and I'm surprised that like she shot up a little bit. Like she's still like within the bottom 20, but she's not rock bottom compared to what she was. Cloud of Darkness again, like Ultimisia, she got hit with the nerf hammer, so she's not really as effective as she used to be. I mean, her fundamentals are still the same, but ideally that's about it. Furion, I'm really surprised about. He got a few buffs, so he has jumped up again a little bit. So he is the top 20, but he's floating in the middle. Jekt, I'm not really surprised about either. So Jekt doesn't really have the best range. This game's pretty neutral heavy, so he's a character where it's like, okay, you wanna avoid neutral as much as possible and get confirms and start racking up damage and cash out. If you shut him out of that option, it's like he has to kind of overextend or rely on his marksman or his vanguard to try and get some form of opening. Kane, I noticed he was really popular in the beta over in the US and the EU. In Japan, I guess, you know, he's in the middle, I guess. Yashola, she's really popular. She's really defensive. Her kit mainly focuses around traps and stuff, but the thing is with her is that she holds a strong neutral compared to what Emperor has. So a lot of people favor her a lot more. A lot of her tools, she can slow, she can stun people, like hold them in place for a free follow up. So yeah, Zidane is a pretty interesting one. Zidane's been hit with the nerf hammer a couple of times. He was one of the best characters when this game first came out. They nerfed him to the ground and they nerfed speed types a lot more, but because of the fact that his fundamentals are still the same, he's still pretty dominant, so he stays at number 12. Garland, I'm really surprised about. He shot up in popularity. X-rated mains Garland. He's one of the easiest characters to pick up and play. Like, he just hits like a truck and you get rewarded for hitting like a truck, so can't go wrong with that. So we're finally at top 10. Ace, even though you got a few nerfs, I think his neutral is just really solid. So that kind of justifies why he's at top 10. Lightning, she has a lot of diversity and utility. Her army of one allows her to HP regen. So the meta at the moment is currently bravery strikes and HP regen for EX skills. But obviously with Lightning, you know, you can swap that HP regen for something else because she gets HP from army of one. School's been one of those characters that kind of easy to climb the ladder with. A lot of his moves have priority. Doesn't really have the best range, but it's like if you're in someone's face, you know, you're guaranteed to get priority. Terra, I'm really surprised about. Bart's has always been floating around top 10. It's kind of an all-rounder. He has a really dominant late game, and the fact that even if he dies, he still keeps his buffs, which is kind of understandable why he's still floating around there. Like, you know, he might be rock bottom, he might be middle. I haven't seen him gone past the top 5 yet. So we're currently at the top 5. Ideally with these characters, Noctis, yeah, but I'd say Van, Cloud, and Sephiroth and Tidus have always just been within the top 10. They're the most popular characters. A lot of them are fan favorites, you know, Sephiroth and Cloud, Mr. Final Fantasy, and Mr. Final Fantasy's villain. You know, he was really popular. Cloud's been knocked off number 1, which is pretty surprising. So a lot of people favor Sephiroth, I guess because of his hard hitting damage, his range, the fact that he can dash cancel and make certain moves safe. Van's been another easy character to climb up with, just because of his utility with his HP attacks. Obviously, if you keep constantly landing HP attacks, you're just going to keep stacking those stacks. And then obviously after a while, his attacks become amplified. He can freeze his HP. Like, yeah, so much utility. It's not even a joke. Tidus and Noctis, though, I'll say purely because the fact that they can deal with marksman's the easiest. Tidus can just monkey flip everything. Like, that sort of... He does that flip with the blue animation, or he does a dive, and it has... Like, you know, you can easily just lock in. It doesn't have any invincibility frames, but it's just the fact that he can just hop over projectiles and get a free follow-up or punish someone clean. Noctis with Warp Strike as well. Um, yeah, so that kind of justifies where the top five kind of stand. The thing is with the popularity list is that it constantly keeps changing over a while. So I could go on tomorrow and a few characters may shift, or over in a month a few characters may shift again. They tend to drastically change when balance patches come out or when a new character gets released. But yeah, pretty much just wraps up the popularity list at the moment. If anyone has reasons why certain characters are placed where they are, I'd like to hear them in the comments. I mean, it'll give me more of an understanding where they place, because some of these things, I don't know how some of these characters are placed, like Warrior of Light being bottom or Kane being mid. I think Kane should be top 10. That jump's really OP. But other than that, that pretty much concludes this video. I'll probably tend to do more of these. Like I'll definitely do another video covering the Sanctuarium. So that's pretty much it. All right, take care, guys.